I let my intuition speak. Get misguided, but I always end up where I'm supposed to be. Put my faith and trust in God and do my part, so we gon' see. In a broken heart, they never give me pain. My nigga caught me by surprise. I can see you hate me through your eyes. I already know the truth about this shit, so tell me lies. Try to elude it, damn impossible.
It says, how long is too long for a talking stage?
That's a good question.
I think again, this will.
Gonna tell me lies, tell me lies. Go ahead, gonna tell me lies. I'm surprised. Go ahead, gonna tell me lies, tell me lies. Go ahead.
Very good.
We're gonna keep going. I don't remember who it's on.
He
already got one.
It says, what is something a person must have in order for you to date them?
That's a good one.
I only got really like two things.
Do you? I don't even.
That?
I got a few.
You said respect. That's a big one.
Yeah, respect.
That is a big
It
one.
said what two
Because
things?
if you don't respect me, then
What is something? Two is like you gotta have a sense of humor.
yes, that's boring.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah,
Again,
that's boring.
I think I'm gonna go back to mine. Like, you gotta have the same hustle as me, and then I know where my heart is at. So I feel like you gotta be just as genuine as me.
I don't know if this is petty, but one of mine is
He
you
said
can't
petty.
be sloppy. You can't be sloppy. Like you don't gotta be like, you don't gotta dress up like fancy. But don't be having your shit like always don't match. Like try to.
I do respect.
I don't want to.
I got something
that,
because you said that.
I'm just like that.
Because he said that you can't be sloppy, can't match. What is y'all pet peeve on people that wear two different color socks? Like, I'm a matching person.
I used to do that. I'm a happy thing. You're not always going to do that.
Yeah.
Now that I'm older, I don't do that. But I do feel like that's very childish at this point.
I do.
You grown, you can find two matching socks.
Okay. I understand.
But no, I do want somebody to match my flag because I don't want to come step into the scene and then.
You're right. And I'm the type person when I go to the grocery store.
But you need to be open. Why?
You never know.
But if somebody is not currently somebody you need to be open.
You can be open at the same time. Again, that goes back to I can teach you different things.
Right.
If you're willing to learn.
If you're willing, because a lot of people are not.
A lot of people are stuck in their ways.
They know everything.
But at the
my mama
same,
used to tell me when I was young too. A person who think they know everything knows nothing until the
Yeah.
day.
Okay.
You're right.
That's it.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
What they
And
used
she
to
was
always say, a
100%
hard ass used to. What do you say?
What make a soft ass?
There you
That's
go.
right. A hard head.
Hard head make a soft ass.
It says, "Are you a good person to date?"
I think you are. I do.
Honestly, I think that I am just because on going into any situation, I just have good intentions for you. If I care about you, then I have good intentions for you. Even if we don't work out, I feel like, well, go get your refill.
Right. I'm sorry. I didn't want to go on the camera and bring out the whole bottle. Like, at this point, we're going to take this to a whole other show. This is even like, this the only lesson that's like 1 hour long. You would have to be 30 minutes?
Right.
Let's be the first one where we just keep going out. No edits. We're here for it. No
We're
edits.
talking facts, so.
Word up. Okay, you ready?
I'm chilling.
We got like 3 more
More
questions,
questions.
so that's perfect.
I need one. I didn't get
Can't
one.
get the last.
We just gonna put at this point. We're gonna put that out there.
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna turn the label this way because you're not promoting this and we're not getting no checks.
Yeah, right.
But
So-
yeah, I think I'm a good person to date.
I think I am too, cause
I wish I got that one.
because
Are you a
I
good
feel
person to date?
Yep.
like,
I knew that Kessie was coming.
but why?
Elaborate.
Why?
Like, what are your qualities?
I'll be all in.
So you be 10 toes in?
Yeah.
So you love hard.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I think I'm the same as what as him. Like once I know that it's real,
Then
I
I'm
would go
in.
10 toes in. I'm all the way in. Like I
But
don't
when
see
you love
nothing
hard,
else.
you be having expectations too.
You have
That's the part.
They
expectations.
might not
Right.
be. They might not
Right.
be realistic, honestly.
No, you do. You have
You do.
expectations when you love hard because they be like, "Oh, I feel this
Yeah,
right now.
so
and
you
this
should
is
feel
so
this
great."
too.
Right.
Yeah. True, right?
It's
Yeah.
not
Are you a person that likes dating multiple people at once or focusing on one person at a time?
That's a good question.
Dating, again, this goes back to dating and talking.
Dating.
What do you
Because
prefer?
Well, we'll say talking.
I guess what do you prefer?
Talking is getting to know each other.
Right.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, weird stuff.
kind of have this in two parts. The younger me would talk to multiple people at a time. I need to see what every person is offering.
Right.
What's up?
Who got the best?
Right. What is it giving?
The best one wins.
Right. May the best man win for real. I used to feel like that. Now, at a place where I'm at, I just feel like, look, I want to put my attention here, my energy. I don't have a whole lot of energy to be giving people. I'm real short fuse, firecracker. I'd be kind of like, nope, I don't need that. I don't need to have multiple people in the mix. So if we gonna date, then it need to just be us.
Yeah.
I feel like though, whenever even when you're talking to multiple people, there's always a hierarchy. You know who you like the most.
Yeah.
And I feel like all the other people are just fillers
Mm-hmm.
and just entertainment.
you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
And I feel like I've never been the type to be like a serial dater. I don't like to talk to multiple people just because I feel like I'm
Dating
lying.
and talking.
Talking.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a serial talker.
Yeah.
Just because I know who I like, and I'm not about to be wasting time. And I don't need a filler. I don't want fillers.
I feel like, to me, you can go through multiple talking stages. Like, you can have 4 different people that you're talking to. One person you can be at the beginning stage. One person you can actually like break the wall and start knowing.
But if you broke the wall, you know you like that person.
you can
So the
like
person you just started
you can
with,
like them, but again, it depends on what type of wall that person has. So they can just be bringing down that wall where you can be like, oh, I'm just really starting to get to know you. But you can have somebody that has already broke that wall down that you only known for a month. You like, I know more about you than I know about you.
but then in your
But
heart,
you're
you know you're talking, but you know who you like more.
So
You
know
do.
who
At
you
the end of the day,
Yes, you know.
Just there
Right, at the end
until
of the-
situation.
It's
at the end of the day,
it works
work out.
honestly.
it can, but I feel like at the end of the day, you can be talking to somebody, and I always look at it like, at the end of the day, you could be talking to 3 people. You know who you want.
Exactly.
But at the end of the day, that person might not know who they want.
Very
So
then you
why
got
should I
others.
cut
That's
off?
why you got options.
Right, you got options still. It's not I think at the end of the day, it's all about what that person wants. They might feel like, oh, I can't see myself being married or anything like
So how
that.
can you be giving
So-
me all of
You
you
do.
if you got all of
All
this
that.
going on?
And my thing is, as I would feel bad as the person who's the option, because what if I want to be all in with you and you really want to be all in with that person, but I'm just your filler.
Especially if
That's
I'm
not-
a love hard type of
Right,
person.
exactly.
Yeah, I
So
feel like
that's
even
not
all
fair.
I feel like you know.
I feel like everybody
You
know what they
when
want
you
and what they
feel it.
doing, but I feel like
You know you're a
yeah, but I also
Why?
Because people make time for what they want to make time for.
They do.
So what you could be
But-
doing, you doing over here, you're really doing.
But I
yourself.
also
Right.
feel
Making
like-
time for everybody.
Yes,
every moment.
yes.
but I'm
That's
gonna
the
throw
mindset.
another whole wrench at y'all. People can always make time for what they want to make time for. But I'm gonna just use y'all as an example. I could be completely in love with you, right? But it's at the end of the day, I might still have that thought where I'll be like, well, what if? So you might be the what if or whatever like that. And I know with you, everything is right. This is what's going on. But at the
your
end of
heart
the
is
day-
really with the what if.
But the heart really ain't.
But
Because
my thing
I've been
is,
with you or whatever like that. Like the heart can't really be with what if, but you can be open to both.
But
But
what
my
But
thing
if
is-
the what if is
my
showing
thing
me
is-
more than what you've been showing me, I might be open to both. But at the end of the day, it's on some who's gonna
But
show
It
me
go
what
to
I really want.
communication.
but then,
But
You should be able to communicate
you
with that
can
person.
communicate,
Like,
but do
I
you
want
comprehend
more.
what I'm saying?
but that goes back to
See what I'm saying?
saying, if you really want to do something,
You can
will
be
do
all
it.
you can be all in, and I always say with any relationship that goes down, you already automatically know from the first 2 seconds if you want that intentions or not. At the back of the mind, you might say this is what I want forever, and then 2 seconds later, you might be like, well, what if, or what if?
If you're thinking about a what if, I'm not the one for you.
Or at the end of the day, maybe
Because
it's not
if I'm the
for
one,
you to
but
be
let me,
with anybody.
but let me
And
say,
if you think
If-
Because if you're gonna constantly
but
keep
then-
thinking what if and what if,
Then I'm not for you.
If it's what
but
if.
but that's the thing. If you have to keep if you have me right in your front view and you going, what if I'm not for you? Because if I was for you, period. That's it. That goes back to the saying that you're gonna do what you want to do.
A little bit because you could be sure about somebody, but you always gonna have that feeling.
Because I feel like I'm gonna break it down to you. I feel like for somebody that's say unexperienced, you might come across somebody and you be like, I like you.
Unexperienced really in what way?
Anyway, I'm gonna just say in general.
In general,
like I'm saying, as far as like dating, anything, being with somebody, anything, like all of that in general. Okay. That's why I say in general. So you might come to and be like, yo, I really like you. Like me and you click, we do the same thing together. But you might be like, but me and you chill. Like you showed me something a little bit different, like something I never really knew. Yeah. So at intentions, you gonna be like, I like you because me and you the same. I like you.
I'm just trying to have your cake and
but at the same time, but you gotta. It is.
Even with that,
but then you have that right if you're single.
Right.
If you're single, you have that right.
You single, so you right. So you single. So at the end of the day, it's no expectations to whatever I'm doing.
It's all about how much you can do it.
Right.
Personally, honestly.
I always say any relationship, no matter what goes on, you have to accept the other person's flaws. You can never change anybody. You might work to change somebody, but at the end of the day, somebody's gonna go right back to who the fuck they used to be.
Right. That's
so when you start talking to somebody, yes, you can change. You can if you're willing to do it. But at the end of the day, I have to accept you for who you are
at that moment,
regardless of what your flaws are.
So if you know you like this person at that moment, but you still think about that what if, you still over there playing with that what if.
You don't know
what's the explanation?
What
is that about?
That's having your cake.
No, in my mind, I'm sorry because we on camera. I can't even say what I was gonna think. I'll tell you that.
I bet I know what you're talking about.
You probably do because I had looked over and I was like, "Is that okay?" It's not. Don't worry about it, but you'll catch on later.
Thought it was some herbal.
I was like, she was in this too. Okay, so when I looked over, I'm sorry, but you already know.
But that's the thing. I feel like if you are I feel like even if you have interest in this person and you still think about what if you looking for fillers.
You're right. Because I'm gonna be I'm probably gonna be in trouble, but I don't even give a fuck. At the end of the day, I feel like when you walk into a relationship, you might set expectations, or it might not even be expectations of what's going on, because you naturally going with the flow. So when you naturally start going with the flow, you going with whatever's going on. So you might not be like, all right, I'm still talking to this person. They still with whoever what they doing, but we still doing with us. But then when you start building on and you keep going on, y'all still doing whatever y'all doing, you might start be like, all right, now I might be like 5 toes in right this second. You know what I'm saying? And then they might be like, well, I'm not really, but or whatever. You never really know what somebody. They might tell you one thing, but again, actions speak louder than words.
Right.
And then again, sometimes some people actions that they give to you might not be what they really perceiving in their mind or whatever they going through.
That just goes back to honesty.
Honesty,
you just gotta be honest.
But again, but you gotta realize sometimes when you be in a relationship and y'all be down, or whether it's a title or it's no title, again, that where it goes back to, okay, we start doing things together, things change, feelings start getting a little bit deeper or whatever like that. But again, you go back to the feeling of, well, I'm not really tied to that person, but am I really?
And so, that's where the feelings getting deeper is a concern for me, only because you're investing over here and you're investing somewhere else. And if they both going good, now you done caught feelings on the other end as well.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So but now you got this whole
entanglement.
Yeah, entanglement.
Right.
My thing is,
Jada said it the best.
But if the first person
is fulfilling
you, then you wouldn't even be thinking about a second.
That's how I be feeling too. But
and I maybe not even thinking that way. But I feel like if the first person is enough for me, I'm not thinking about what if, because you it for me.
I be feeling like that too, but then I be feeling like sometimes some people be feeling like, depending on what their situation is, like.
Or is it too much thinking of what I could have versus what I do have?
Sometimes I be feeling like people be wanting to just go out there and be like, I know what I got,
to see
but
if the
let me
grass
see
is
what else
greener.
is. And then when they go out there and they be like, the grass is greener, but
to be honest with you, if you bold enough to go out there and seek, then don't come back here to find. Show your bye. Don't come back over here.
Because at the end of the day,
that wasn't
this ain't a forever thing. I'm throwing shots.
Alright, well, don't be the question. Wait,
Again, this is the only, let's be honest, that's over 30 minutes. Mama, I'm sorry.
You already just apologized.
Oh, was this one? Was this one? I don't even know. KK, which one was it? It was this one? Oh, KK switched with me.
KK, you've been cheating the whole game.
He keeps switching with me. It says, what do you think is needed to in order to have a successful
we answered that one.
Right.
Oh, that's the wrong one.
So, this is everything.
What happened?
I answered that one, KK.
Oh,
That was yours. KK,
Oh.
you're lying. At this point, you're lying.
Now you gave me this one.
No, we already answered that one.
KK, you're lying.
What happened? Alright, KK, then this to you.
It says, oh, here you go. It says, how long is too long for a talking stage?
That's a good question.
I think, again, this goes back to what everybody perceive as what is a talking stage.
We already established
Like
here.
you said, vibing, y'all.
Yeah,
right.
we're getting to know each
I'm not
other.
saying with us, but I'm saying with when you start dealing with people that's different generations or whether it's in the same generation, I think you need to define what is that stage.
Okay, first.
Because somebody might be like, oh, that stage is to me, oh, I got your number, you know, we just talking, we figuring out who it is. But after like 5 dates, we in.
Well,
But to the other person, it might be something a little bit different.
I think this situation is kind of somebody you would be building with.
Right. To me, I feel like a talking stage, to me, like after, I'm going to give you like an AOL this, 90 days.
I would, yeah.
After 90 days,
Yeah,
it's a trial and error. Like,
I would
we
agree.
need to know. I feel like whenever you deal with somebody in the first,
like few weeks.
not even, I'm going to say the first 24 hours, you know if I can tolerate you or
Yeah,
not.
you know about the first conversation.
Right, like the
Yeah,
first
absolutely.
conversation where if I can tolerate you or not, like,
Yeah,
okay,
that's right.
Because if
where
you're
you
saying
going,
too many
where you not-
words wrong,
Yeah, right.
I'm gonna deal with you only on Saturdays,
Right.
like, but I feel like you already know. Like once you meet somebody and you start talking to them, you already know how fully invested you are, and you might interpretate how fully invested they are. And the reason why I say interpretate is because somebody might tell you something, but actions speak louder than words.
Exactly.
Yes. Very true.
That's true. I feel like words say who you want to be, but actions show who you are.
And then I
Right.
also feel like even after
Agreed.
the actions are shown, I still feel like I need to feel how you are because within a week or 2 weeks or a month, somebody might say like, "Oh, this is what it is," but after somebody start getting comfortable, that's how you know who they are.
I feel like people gonna always show you who they are. It's up to you to decide if you want to believe it or not. It doesn't even matter unless you just an expert liar. Them colors is always gonna show.
But some people,
I don't-
you don't find out
disagree.
till later in.
Right.
Deeper in
The
the
reason why I say
You trying to say you don't never see no signs?
No, the reason why I say I
Doesn't
disagree.
matter.
Sometimes
Ignore red
manipulator,
flags.
sometimes you won't.
But it depends
Exactly.
on how far you win. Because some sorry,
People
Carmen.
wear good
For a female, sorry, Carmen, I'm being honest, because KK out here. For a female, we observe it. So we understand you from the beginning to the end. We see when you switch up and when you don't switch up.
Yeah, I can.
So that's
feel
why I say
can
that.
Feel the shift.
So for with us, you can feel the shift, you can see it, and you can see when somebody changes up, and you can see all of that. So I feel like in the beginning, you can understand like, okay, this is where it's going. But as a female, for us, we can see the switch up. So when we see the switch up, we like, okay, that's not your intentions no more. So when you say actions speak louder than words, we see your actions now.
I mean, males see the switch up as
See
well. So
both
what's the-
sides.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We see it
both
before
sides.
you though.
Does it? If you running game on me, I'm gonna get the last laugh. Period.
I
That's
feel
the
you.
type of
Go
person I
ahead,
am.
Cart. That's my nephew.
matter when I find out.
You right.
If the truth gonna break my heart, it's still something I need to.
Okay, period.
That's why I feel like from beginning to end, no matter what, I got my brick up. Because you never know. And even when somebody can promise you your world, you still don't know.
To me, don't tell. But my thing is, don't tell me. Show me.
Exactly.
Somebody can still show you. I'm gonna be 100% honest with you because
I don't want to hear nothing though. To me,
you
I
don't
don't
even have to hear something,
that.
but somebody can still show you and promise you the fucking world, and you could be years and years later, and then somebody's intentions can switch.
That's true, but that's the scariest.
That's why I was saying you won't find out sometimes.
But that's the
later.
scariest thing, and it makes you feel like it's a safer bet for me to be single because. Why do I always have to be on lookout? If I'm single, I'm not on lookout.
It's also a test to make sure you trust yourself.
Yes.
Right. When you are in this situation, you can make the right choice to be like, no, I choose me first.
Yeah.
Because often, like Harvey said, it do happen. Sometimes you don't see things until later on. So you don't want to just close your heart off like, oh, because
at the beginning, everybody's attention is on, I'm trying to bag you.
Exactly.
I don't care who, whether it's male or female. I'm trying to bag you so I can promise you the world. But again, that goes back to once I get comfortable and I got you, am I still going to hold them still?
I think what keeps me from being like not like scared of dating again is I don't really want to be alone, period. Like in the future.
I don't think anybody wants to be alone.
I think everybody gets to a point where like
I don't think that's necessary. Some people do like to be alone.
Some people
I feel like for me, as much as I don't want to be hurt, I feel like there is a greater win in love. I do believe in love. I feel like love is a win, and I think it definitely is possible. And I would rather risk it all to be in love than to be scared, just not to be hurt.
But that driving you to
Question.
think there's something better.
How much would you risk?
That's right, because love is a vibration.
Exactly.
Right.
So what you're giving out, it's going to come back.
Yeah.
Right.
You just got to be patient sometimes.
Yeah.
How much am I willing to risk? I feel like it depends on the person and what value I see in you. Because again, if I want something, I'm going to do what I need to do.
But just not wanting more than them.
No, and that's the thing. That's my part, and that's why a lot of times things get cut off very quickly because I'm not willing to go outside of myself more than you are willing to do so.
But that reminds me.
To me, you have to match my energy.
But what if you find somebody that's willing to go as far as you go, back and forth, and then it cut off?
Cut off for what reason?
To better themselves. Or a situation.
If you communicate that to me, then I can respect that. I don't have no choice but to respect you want to better yourself, and so we need to part ways. But honestly, is the intention for us to part ways for you to better yourself or for you to do what you want to do? That's two different things.
But that goes back to if you let them go and they come back, it was meant to be for you.
But that's the thing.
But I live by the same rule, Corey. I always live by that. Like, if you let somebody go and see if they come back. But then I feel like,
but my thing is,
that goes to how much you can tolerate and what you're willing.
And I feel like at the end of the day, like, you could be somebody that be like, oh, I don't care, I don't give a fuck, I don't care about anybody else. But at the end of the day, you might still love that person. So they can be showing you expectations of this is what it's not going to be, but then they can show you something of what it's supposed to be. But at the end of the day, like,
and I feel like there's a time frame though. There is a time frame as to when you are allowed to come back. You don't get to go off and get yourself together for years and years, and then you come back and expect expect for me to pick up where we left off. No, because life goes on.
No man.
Right, life goes on. So you don't get to interrupt my life and then leave and then interrupt.
But what if the universe brings it back around?
That's if the timing allows for that, and I'm just open, I'm free, then cool.
But
so
I don't. So and that's what I'm saying. If the timing grants for that, then
if you're in a relationship with somebody and whatever happens where you have to break up and you be like, all right, I'm gonna live by that rule. I'm gonna let it go if it comes back.
I don't bank on you coming back. Cause why did you let it go?
I understand that too, but sometimes they always say that
People make mistakes.
Right, people make mistakes. Y'all are different
I
points in your
understand
life. You understand. You might go through something where you might have to come back to each other. But what is your expectations? Like, are you at that point where you see, let me let it go and
They
come
should
back?
be low because they
Are
left
you?
already.
Are
Right,
you?
that's what I'm saying, because you already set the precedence of how I view you and how I trust
That's
you.
true.
You already hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
So for you to come back, even if I welcome you with open arms, it's never going to be the same energy because you
Of course.
already.
It's
So-
never going to be
Right.
the
You
same.
are
That person
right.
is in
It's
fear
never gonna
Or
be the
or
same.
whatever.
you.
I already
It's
know
never
what you're
gonna be the
capable
same.
But
of.
that goes to forgive and not forget.
Yeah, they don't let you
But-
forget. You can
right,
forgive, but you don't have to
I'm
forget.
always gonna be on the
But how
alert.
much you gonna forgive?
Yeah.
But that's the
Very
thing.
true.
Why do you keep
Because for
doing
you,
things for me to have
it
to
might
forgive?
seem like, damn, you stabbed me in the heart, but to them, it might be like, oh, I just put a band-aid on you.
I'm not against having your guard up, but if it affects people that doesn't have anything to do with it, that's when it's a problem. And a lot of people don't know how to control that. Period.
That's true.
Alright, KK, you up. Last question.
Right. KK was like, yeah, it's all for me, it's all for this kid. Stay over here real quiet.
Right.
KK, you back up, though.
See what you did outside your race.
Wow.
Yep.
That's it. KK was yep. Why?
That's where personality comes in tag.
I feel like every question that KK been coming back with has been personality. You know what I'm saying?
My man's already said that's the key for him. So that's it.
That's it. Personality.
Yep. You got some good
Right.
personality.
Right.
That's it. We good. Personality. That's it.
Yeah, that was it.
That was it.
And it's toxic, every motherfucker preaching nonsense. Not the righty type, it seem like niggas let her pop shit. My fans were pressing me like every week for me to drop shit. Can't say my depression is the reason.